The desert may seem barren, but out among all that sand you can find some pretty fun activities.
I'm Erin from Continental Drifters, and one of the cool things you've got to do while you're here is grab some friends and go off-roading.
Renting a four-wheel drive is the best way to see the sights here in the Anza-Borrego Desert, not far from Palm Springs, California. It's California's largest state park, encompassing more than 600,000 acres of badlands, palm oases, slot canyons, and cactus-studded hills. Much of the park is inaccessible to regular vehicles. It's our first time off-roading, and we're setting out slow to see some of the top sights in the park. The first stop is these bubbling mud holes known as gas domes. Here, natural gas bubbles from below the Earth's surface year-round, mixing with groundwater to create a flowing mud hole on the desert floor. Next up, we head west in the park to a place called Shell Reef. It's a bit of a mountain, and we have to park the buggy and climb to the top on foot to see what we came to. Up here is what's called Shell Reef, and here there's thousands and thousands of years of mollusk shells all buried in amongst the sand, and that's because this whole area at one time was actually under the sea. There's a 5-foot thick layer of fossilized shells up here, and they're everywhere. This layer has resisted erosion thanks to its hardness and durability, so the ridge is preserved as Shell Reef. Getting down is easier than climbing up, and soon we're on our way to our next stop. We point the buggy north and start looking for a large formation of circular rocks. The terrain gets pretty bumpy out here, and the makeshift roads are a lot harder to follow.
So ma'am, there's been a lack of drink service on this flight, but how are you enjoying the experience overall?
It's a little turbulent right now. Just waiting for the stewardess to come by with a cocktail, and it will be fabulous.
Fortunately, things smooth out and we soon spot our destination. Strewn across the desert here are hundreds and maybe thousands of circular-shaped rocks. They're about the size of, well, large pumpkins. And that's where this place got its name, the Pumpkin Patch. Helpful signs explain the pumpkins formed naturally, the result of grains of wet sand naturally cementing themselves to tiny pieces of shell or debris and then growing over time before being buried in the sand. Eventually they're revealed by erosion, and then they get scoured away slowly by that same process. The pumpkin patch is pretty unique, and out here in the middle of actual nowhere, it's a pretty amazing sight. Rather shockingly, people have taken the pumpkins over the years, so now the area is fenced off, allowing only foot traffic. There's one last thing we want to see, this so-called Badlands, a series of deep canyons. The trails through the Badlands are surprisingly easy to navigate, and we get a chance to stop and take some pretty cool photos and videos too. With the clock ticking down on our 4-hour rental, we speed across the sand towards home base again. We're covered in sand, microdermabrated in places we never expected, and tired, but still high on our desert adventure. For more great travel ideas and adventures, head over to continentaldrifters.ca. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time.